Chat. Okay. That is one big ass chat. Let's see. Okay. Cool. We will see how that works. So, every year Americans buy a bunch of Christmas trees. Use the dataset to compare real and fake sales with 2 bar charts. We can do that. So, let's see, how would we do that? Oh, and let's time box these things. So I'm gonna say this should get done in 1 hour. Let's see, so I'm gonna open a code sandbox and we're gonna create a new one. Let's do a create React app. I think, yeah, it's zoomed in a little bit, so I'm gonna keep it zoomed in a bit, but I'm gonna make it bigger so that it's easier to see what's going on. Fork, and we're gonna give it a name, ReactVizHoliday Day 1. Christmas trees. Is this how that works? I guess it is. Cool. Christmas trees sold in USA. Bam, and I'm gonna take a description from here. This is the stuff I prepared earlier. Bam, got that. Now let's see, I'm gonna need D3 and I'm gonna need my data set. So add dependency D3. Perfect. Let's get the data set. So I actually already have the data set locally, so I'm gonna check Christmas trees sold in the United States. We go here, database advent, static data sets, and we said it's this one, right? Christmas trees, yeah. Christmas trees sold in United States. Let's just download it because it's going to be easier if I download it again. Wow, hey Cheapo, so Case McClellan asks the best language route to learn how to create an AR application. That's a good question. I think right now your best bet is using iOS and their AR kit. That's probably best. I know there's some ways of doing AR in JavaScript, but the last time I checked, they weren't that useful yet. So for this data set, I'm gonna make it easier by turning it into a CSV. Can I actually do that? Let's see. So we're gonna go here and make a new file called data.csv, paste it in. Okay, so we have how did this paste? Okay, so we have year, then real tree, fake tree, and it's it pasted weird, so 27.1, 0.8, 0.6, 0.3. Oh, and let's actually, I wonder what happens if we call it a TSV instead of a CSV. I guess we'll see. So right now I'm changing it so that we have proper numbers because my copy paste was weird. And that's probably something I should have done in advance. So let's see, yeah. Okay, it's going to be a TSV, not a CSV. A TSV is tab separated values. That was a 6. Okay. We got that, and actually let's move it to public. .tsv. Move it to the public folder, and in our app we're going to turn this into a class-based component. Class app extends react.component, and we're going to use that. We're going to use component did mount to load our data set. Render dot. Okay, and in component did mount, we're gonna, so we set our data at first to null, and here we say d3.tsv / data.tsv, and import asterisk as d3 from d3. Got that. Then when it's loaded, we say data, and we console log it to see that reading data works. So if we go here, we get a bunch of objects that have years and trees and stuff like that. So the next step is parsing this so that we get clean numbers instead of strings. So d3.tsv, and we say year, what did we say the columns were? Year, real tree, fake tree. So real trees, fake trees, these are gonna be our values, and for each of them we're going to return year is going to be number of year, real trees is going to be number of real trees, and fake trees is going to be number of fake trees, like that. What do we need? We need to change this to be trees and fake trees, and now we should have, cool, now we have clean numbers. That's something we can work with. Oh, maybe I should hide my icons. There's too many icons. Hide desktop icons. Perfect. Cool. So now that we have data, we're going to say this set state data, like that, and in our code sandbox we're going to change this to say Christmas trees sold in USA, hash ReactVizHoliday day 1. Cool. Now, while the data is loading, we are going to not do anything because this data is going to load pretty fast because it's such a small file, so we don't need like a spinner or something. But what we do need is an SVG that has a width of, let's say, 600 and a height. The IDE is Code Sandbox. It runs directly in your browser and lets you do anything you want. I think it pretty much works just like VS Code, except it's in your browser and it comes with like a fake browser on the right where you can see what you're doing. Let's say 800 by 600 SVG. Oh, why am I not signed in? That's weird. Let's sign in with GitHub. Cool. I'm signed in. So we have an SVG, and this SVG, if data exists, is going to render a bar chart where we said we're comparing fake trees to real trees with a bar chart, right? Use the data set to compare real and fake sales with 2 bar charts. Okay, so our bar chart is going to get data, which is going to be data map, and we're gonna take out just actually let's just give it data. So we pass all of the data into our bar chart, and at first we're gonna make it static. It's just gonna, actually let's see, and key is going to be fake trees, or let's do real trees first. Real trees, and otherwise null. So now we need to import a bar chart, and we're gonna also have to create a bar chart. Import bar chart from /bar chart, and we need to take data from our state. Great, so we now have bar charts, and we can go into source, create a bar chart.js file, and this bar chart is going to import React from React and import asterisk as D3 from D3. And what should our bar chart look like? We can make it relatively simple. Okay, so we know our data doesn't change because it's rendered once, which means we don't have to be very careful about how things are updating. So we can put it directly in class properties. So we say class bar chart extends react.component, like that, export default bar chart, and it needs a render method, which is going to return a grouping element at first, just so that we have something that renders. And it is going to say, so we're gonna need a we're gonna need an ordinal scale for, or do we need an ordinal scale, or do we need a, let's see, so x scale is going to be d3 dot scale. Let's see, I know there's a scale that D3 supports that gives us pretty much everything we need. Let's see, D3 wiki, API reference, go to scales, continuous scales, quantized scales, ordinal scales, there we go. Scale band is exactly what we need because it gives us padding and spacings and all of that. So we're gonna say scale band, where our, so it maps from a domain to a range. So our domain is going to be this props data map dd.year. So our domain are years. If the domain says domain to specify the array of values, and range set the scale. Alright, cool. So our range is going to be dependent on the width that we want. So we say, hey iMobi, range is going to be from 0 to 600 at first, like that. And then our Y scale is going to be D3 scale linear, and the linear scale is going to have a domain that goes from 0 to, or yeah, 0 to D3 max of this props data, and the value accessor is going to be D, and D of this props key. And we will see, Does React actually pass the key prop? I'm suddenly not sure. Unexpected token. D bam bam. Okay. Now let's see. If we say this dot x scale of 2015, what? Console.log, does that work? So scale of 2015 gives us a horizontal position, so that's perfect. Console log this dot y scale of 70. Ha, that is not working. So what are our props? This dot props, and yeah, so the key prop, that's very interesting to know. The key prop doesn't get passed. So instead of key, we're gonna call it value. And value. Great, so that now works. We now have scales that give us horizontal and vertical sizing for our data. So the next step is rendering stuff. So we're gonna go through our data set, data.map, const data equals this dot props, data map, and for each data point we're going to render a text element with a Christmas tree. So text, and inside is going to be a Christmas tree, like that. So we should now see a bunch of them right here. You might not be able to see them because they're so tiny, but I promise you they are there. The next step is going to be making them visible. See? They're all there. So next step is transforming this. So we say transform, and we translate to the horizontal position, which is horizontally we use this dot x scale of d dot year, and vertically we're gonna just move them down by, let's say, 100, 200. Let's see, 200. Okay, so we now have trees spaced out. Now the next, let's see, if we just scale them up, that's not gonna work very well because they're emojis. So making them bigger, making them taller is gonna make them wider as well, and that's not something that we want. Emoji should be wrapped in span, blah. Alright. So what should we do? Let's see what happens if we do actually say hide, not hide, but font size. Let's see, 50 pixels. What happens? Aha, makes them bigger. So if we say font size is this y scale of d of this props value, what's gonna happen? Gets confused. What if we do it this way? So we get the value, then we say px. Oh, there's no range. So range needs to be from 0 to however much we want the max height to be. Okay, so see, that doesn't work. Just scaling up the trees is not great. So instead we're gonna stack trees one on top of another to create bars. So we're gonna say data map D, and from D let's do data map D, and for each one of them we're going to create a bar, a tree bar that takes an x parameter, which is this x scale of d dot year, and it also takes a y parameter, a height parameter, which is this dot y scale of d dot d of this props dot value, like that. So now we need to create the bar, and because tree bar is just a subcomponent, we're going to create it in the same file as our bar chart. So tree bar is a component that takes it takes x and height and returns a grouping element that's transformed to translate x and, let's say, 300. Actually, let's give it a y, and the y is going to be 300, and I'll show you in a bit why this is important. It's because we're going to make it dynamic. So
Alexa, turn off the lights.
$x, $y. So we have the grouping element, and inside the grouping element we're going to iterate through a bunch of, so we're going to say d3.range. It goes from 0 height divided by, let's say, 10. Let's see what happens if we make each one of them 10 pixels. And we map through this with an index. For each of them we create a text that has an emoji in it, like that. What am I doing wrong? Close. Okay, so we now have the emoji, and we have to transform this. Where are we transforming it? So it's gonna be at the 0th x. So transform. Let's do it this way. X equals 0, y equals I times 10, and style font size is 10 pixels. Great. Now y is transforming it by x not working. And let's make them 15 pixels tall. 20 maybe. Okay, so 20 pixels. Now why are they not horizontal, doing horizontal stuff? Let's see. Unexpected end of attribute. Oh, right. Because I made a typo. Haha, wonderful. And if we make, there we go. So that's our bar chart. Cool. It's not very visible, is it? Maybe we should use a scale log. And that needs to have a range from 1. Nope. What if we say d3 extent of data with getting from this props value, this props data. Okay, now it's more varied because we used a logarithmic scale instead of although I think that's gonna be confusing, isn't it? It is. But let's go back to the normal one. So we're gonna be going from 0 to however many. Although, that is such a boring bar chart came out. Not a fan. Because problem is that there aren't that many differences between years. And it's also pretty hard to see this. What if we do it this way? Like squish them together a bit more. Okay, that's a little better, right? And okay, that kind of works. So we have that. Now let's add years underneath them. So React.fragment, or no, let's just create a grouping. Now let's do React.fragment and say that underneath it all we put some text that has d.year. Where did that text go? Style strike black. I can't see where the text went. Rerun. Each child should have a unique key prop. Is that my text? Let's see. Oh yeah, it is. We didn't. Yeah, we have to transform the text. So we say transform is or actually you can just do x and y. X equals this x scale of d.year and y equals 310. Yay! Okay, it shows up. Let's do 320. Cool. Now here, this guy, let's plus this dot x scale dot band width. Is it bandwidth? Bandwidth without the caps. Bandwidth divided by 2. Divided by 3. 5. Okay, that makes them kind of centered. And here, let's say font size is 11 pixels. 12 pixels. And let's text anchor equals middle, center. Okay, so text anchor is in the center, which positions it there. And if we take this away, does it work? Okay. So that's kind of centered mostly, right? Yeah, I think it looks fine. Great. Now let's add some data here, let's say. So what does our data set represent? In millions. Okay, so 27 million trees. So each Christmas tree on our chart represents what? Let's see. And Christmas trees sold in USA over the years. Each tree is 1 million. Each tree represents 1 million trees in real life. But does it though? So let's see. 2004 had 27.1 real trees. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's not exactly 27, is it? So perhaps if we what if we don't use a vertical scale and instead of height we give the count? That's going to be better. Count equals d of this props.value, and we say d3 range of count and just hope for the best. Cool. So now we gotta move everything down because we no longer know how tall it is. 500. Okie doke. 490, 480. Okay, so that's 28. So now each tree represents exactly 1 million trees. And we're gonna say here, we're gonna add some text at the very top. That's going to be a title, and it's going to say, let's import styled components as well. Styled components, because that's going to make my life a little bit easier. So title is going to say what? Title, real trees, import styled from styled components, and we say const title equals style.text, where font size equals 15 pixels, font weight is bold, and color is red. Okay, and let's position it. So let's say x equals 50 and y equals 50, and see where it goes. Real trees, yay. Okay, stroke is red, fill is red. Cool. And font size 25 pixels, 30 pixels. Oh, font size, real trees, and then we're gonna down here we're gonna render fake trees. So let's see. So now if we want to make the bar chart reusable, we have to give this thing a bunch more height and say this. Let's give it let's keep the X where it is and say Y is at, we said that this is positioned at 500, so we say Y is 500 and this is the bottom edge. So here Y is gonna have to be 1000, like that. And we're gonna say this is fake trees. So now it's actually already rendering two bar charts that are overlapping. So what we're gonna, as soon as we change how this works, it's gonna start making two of them. So React component takes the Y position from props and says, no, so this has to be 0 and the other one has to be 500 because it's still going in that down direction. So we say transform, translate 0 and Y. Yay, there are now two of them. Okay, let's reverse them. Christmas trees sold in USA over the years. Each tree represents, so let's, each tree Christmas represents 1 million trees in real life. So real trees, and here we have fake trees. So now this one has to go at 500 and this is at 0, this is at 500. So yeah, there's no y-axis. The reason there's no y-axis is because I don't think it's that necessary. Do you think we should add a label? Because what do you think? Should we add a label for the vertical axis? Yeah. So 550 and this one goes at 550. Cool. So we have two of these guys. Fake trees and real trees. That's true. Counting trees does seem hard, doesn't it? Okay. So let's add a label for the y-axis. So if we go here on the tree bar, at the very top, let's add text with a x of 0 and a y of minus count times 12 and a style where stroke is, okay, actually let's not do that, let's just see what it says. Text with count. Cool. So we can make it count plus 1, so it shows up on top, and let's give it a bit of an offset like that, and make them style font size, let's say 9 pixels. Is that too small? Should we make them large? Oh, hey. Hi from Whip Chat. Awesome. Should we make these large? I think if they're large labels, that kind of detracts from the thing. How much more time? Okay, we have 19 more minutes. Let's see, what more can we do? So we have that. I'm gonna keep them small, but I am gonna change the text anchor so that they are centered. I'm not sure that actually changed anything. Like that. But let's make it so that we can click on this, and it's gonna change the bar chart. That way we'll be able to compare them. Like it's gonna be easier to see what's going on. So let's add some state that says what we're showing is the current value is going to start with fake trees, and on click to compare real and fake tree sales. Okay, on click is going to say this dot switch view, and we have a switch view is a component set. It's this set state that takes, let's see, value, and it says this state value equals fake trees, then it becomes real trees, otherwise it becomes fake trees. So this is the way to toggle between the two different values. So here we got this, and instead of value being hard-coded, we say this dot, so we say value, which is becoming a bad word. Haha, see? So we can now do that, and we have to change it here to say value equals fake trees. We say fake trees, otherwise we say real trees. Cool. Now we gotta make this SVG look more clickable. So I'm gonna change this to be SVG, a large capital case SVG component, and we're gonna say const SVG equals style dot SVG, and it says cursor is pointer. Cool. And let's add an average number. So we're gonna say d3.mean of data with a value accessor of the value real trees per year. Cannot read property length of null. Because data needs to exist first. So we're gonna do it this way. If data exists, we render the SVG, otherwise we render nothing. And we say to fixed 1. 12.7 fake trees per year. Mean mm 20.7 million fake trees per year. USA buys. Per year on average. Okay, so now we gotta make the title a little bit smaller. Cool. And we got it. That's our visualization. I'm gonna make a little GIF of this and post it on Twitter. And then should I make a how should I do this ReactVizHoliday stuff? Should I do the write-up while I'm streaming, or should I do it separately and post it tomorrow? I find I get kind of nervous when if I'm writing while people are watching, so maybe I should do that in private. But let's make a GIF. Oh, but if I make it smaller, then that's not gonna work. Let's do 1080p then. A 960. million. Okay. What if I just say mil? 12.7 mil, 28.5 mil. Does that work? I'm not sure what the difference is in those two. Let's see, what about the other GIF making tool I have? Record video. Okay, that works. It's not gonna be very... it's fine. Christmas tree sold in USA. Record GIF. Bam. Yay. Cool. I think that is a great and very successful... how do I stop it? I think that is a successful first day of ReactVizHoliday. We got that done with 12 minutes to spare, actually. Oh, this one doesn't let me... How do I adjust? No? Cool. So I'm gonna go write the write-up and I will publish it tonight, and then publicize it tomorrow morning. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I still have to figure out the actual process for that, but first day was a great success. Thanks everyone for watching. I will see you again tomorrow evening.